It's time once again for another episode of the Buckhead Business Show. Being brought to you by the Buckhead-Business-Association. Broadcasting live from the Pro Business Channel studios in Atlanta. And now, here's your host for today's episode.
Well, good morning, Atlanta. This is Chris Godfrey, president of Young Bucks 2015. And today is Tuesday, December 22nd, right here before Christmas. We're here for a good show.
Absolutely. And this is, we did the inaugural show for the BBA about 3 weeks ago. This is actually the inaugural show for the Young Bucks.
That's right. It sure is. So we'll be planning on every third Thursday or every third Tuesday. Right. We'll be coming in with some of our Young Bucks members and just talking about their businesses, what it's like being a young professional in Atlanta, and being in the community and being involved with that. So
very well said. I think you're a natural already. I may not have to talk much during this show. Yeah. So that's kind of the premise for the show. And you kind of we mentioned the third Thursday, which is actually your typically your after hours mixers, right?
Exactly. That's what tripped me out.
Yeah, I know. So, we did that on purpose. Yeah.
Exactly. It teed it up. So third Thursday, the Buckhead-Business-Association has a social every third Thursday, and we get to really take advantage of all the great food and restaurants around the city, around Buckhead, really keeping it in Buckhead for our members to enjoy and get to know what's out there.
Absolutely. And so how long have you been a member of the BBA?
So I'm going on 2 years being a member of the BBA. It's been a really great opportunity to just be involved in the community and get to know some really, really good people, and a couple of which you're going to meet today, actually. So
absolutely. And just want to remind our listeners, you're listening to the Buckhead Business Show on the Pro Business Channel studios here in Buckhead. And to be a guest, be considered, submit a guest request, you just go to buckhead-business-show.com. And so, Chris, I'll give you the honors. Let's welcome our second guest who will be joining us on the show first, and just say hi and good morning to Diana.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, actually, and you'll be talking about what?
KF Resources. It's the company that I work for. Okay. We're a staffing and recruiting firm in Atlanta, handling all IT, accounting, and finance positions. Really just anything you need.
Well, we know it's a hot time in Atlanta's market. Everyone's looking for talent nowadays and figuring out the best ways to do it. So really excited to get some insider scoop from what you've learned, Diana.
Well, insider scoop. Oh,
no, go ahead. We'll have your bio in just a second, but let's welcome our second guest also joining us in the studio, Sonia, Lakhany.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. So tell us where exactly you work and what your role is there.
Sure. So I'm a trademark attorney, and I run a trademark law firm called Lakhany Law PC, which is just my last name stuck into the middle of a law firm name. And it's based here in Atlanta, but we do work nationwide. So I do a lot of traveling and serving clients in different states and countries.
And you've been a member of the BBA for, you were saying, a couple years now,
at least a couple
right?
years, yep. And I just spoke at one of the weekly breakfasts a few months ago.
So we were really excited to have her on the show this morning as well. Thanks
Happy
so much.
Happy to do. No, thank you.
Absolutely. So we'll be hearing more about Sonia and what you're doing here in the community, the business community. But Chris, if you would, let's go ahead and introduce our first guest formally, Diana.
Sure. Well, Diana, glad you could join us this morning. Diana has worked with me hand in hand this year with Young Bucks, so we're going to dive into that a little bit later. But so Diana, you were raised right here in Georgia, up the street in Norcross. Where'd you go to school?
Norcross High School, Georgia State University.
So Atlanta through and through.
Nice.
It's kind of rare nowadays, working in the city. So what was your degree there? I'm
a journalism major, and didn't go into the hospitality industry or journalism, went into IT recruiting.
Well, hey, but I feel like you've really gotten to use your personality. I know, Diana, you're known for your, laugh, and you're just smiling all the time. So that's really helped you, I think, as you're kind of shaping a role as a leader within your company and in Young Bucks and building your profession. So tell us a little bit, why did you start getting involved with the Young Bucks?
Well, it's really important as a recruiter to get involved in Atlanta and try to find ways to network. And I just really had fun every time I went to a Young Bucks event. And, I made it a goal to become involved and be somebody important. And hey, you what did we joke about the other? Yeah, voluntold me.
Yes. So,
Philanthropy chair.
One thing, Diana, you don't let me live down that, do you? So we really kickstarted. We relaunched Young Bucks this year. It was what our goal was for 2015. Is really just to lay a foundation of what we could be, and so I very quickly got Diana involved with that, and she voluntold. But that's how the Buckhead Business Association is different than other organizations in the city, is that you're able to get involved and you're able to immediately take a leadership position and help form and shape the future of a great organization. Isn't that what you've seen?
It was great. One vote, I was in.
A little more than that, but that's okay. So you're in business development. You're in business development at KF Resources. And how long have you been with KF Resources now?
I'm going on my second year.
Okay. So tell us one more time what kind of positions it is that you're looking to help companies staff for.
Yes, we help with any IT positions, accounting and finance, and a little bit of HR.
Okay.
I focus on the IT side of things and the business development side, excuse me. But I was talking with my COO the other day about an article that Gartner published and the most upcoming trends that CIOs are looking out for in 2016. Security obviously is one of the number one, with the number of growing breaches.
Sure.
The importance of your protection with your data and sensitive info. Web development, everybody is on their phones these days. And there's statistics out there that 43% of job seekers are using their phone to find their jobs.
Wow.
So it's important for companies out there to have a, engaging and functional landing page for everybody to go to.
And so y'all are on the forefront of that, I guess, with your website and the way that you're able to tie that in.
We're trying.
Sure. Well, I see you are able to kind of use Skype in interviews as well, the interview process.
Oh, yeah. And you can use Skype from your phone. If we can't get our candidates in the office, we're on Skype with them.
So I think that's going to tie in really well when we talk with Sonia here in a little while, too, because Sonia, don't you kind of tie in with how do you protect your brand and your different pieces with technology? There's so much opportunity to kind of lose that, isn't that?
Absolutely. We work a lot with tech and social media. And I was actually just thinking, if we're talking about IT recruiting, knowing that the candidate is proficient in Skype and some of these applications is probably a good place to start. That, if they can do the interview and make sure that they're capable, it's probably a good criteria.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to learn more here in just a minute. So, Diana, what would you say as someone that, it's kind of twofold, right? So you're in kind of business development. So you're looking for businesses that are really looking to hire, which is frankly a lot of companies in Atlanta right now, isn't it?
Correct.
Have you seen a lot of growth in the job market this year?
Yes, an outstanding number.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Since Atlanta is number one business climate in the country right now, so
right.
So that's great, Diana. Thanks so much. And what would be an ideal target for you, and how can people reach out and contact you as well if they want more information?
Ooh, am I allowed to give my phone number?
Absolutely, yeah. Go for it, yeah. Home address, social security number, credit card, but make sure you give us a PIN number when you give your credit card.
I think Atlanta is the fintech capital of the country.
What, I think 70% of all
transactions go through the city of Atlanta.
That's crazy.
So that's tidbit, but so I don't know. We may not be able to protect that detailed information.
Come check out kfresources.com, and personally on my LinkedIn page and all of my coworkers, we post a blog every week of our hottest jobs. So we'd love to have you guys come take a look.
That's awesome. What are, just closing marks, what would be a couple of the hot jobs right now? What would you say are you really looking for? Finance, accounting,
Accounting and finance. Really, we have a whole bunch of IT security positions right now.
Okay.
Obviously, I can't tell you too much.
That's right.
About the companies that we're working with.
That's right. You don't want
or else she'd have to hire you, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, it'd be...
Or charge you a fee.
That's right.
Nice.
Hey, but it's pretty affordable, though, to use your resources, so...
All right. So, Chris, you're doing an amazing job so far. Yes or yes?
Oh, hey, there you go. It's the Tuesday before Christmas, Rich. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We got Linux Mall behind us, everybody. We have the pink pig we were talking about earlier,
right.
Just taking us back to our childhood, so.
I mean, Buckhead, Atlanta's great, but, Buckhead is better.
That's right.
Oh, that's a new... There you go.
We'll have to work on trademarking that. Maybe talk about that.
Whoa. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to trademark that real quick.
Yeah. We'll talk offline about that.
Yeah. Hey,
let's talk online.
Let's dive.
Maybe that's a great segue.
I think so. I think so. Wow. Oh, what a morning, y'all. What a morning.
I know.
It's a great day to be in Buckhead.
No, Buckhead is better.
Buckhead is better. That's right. So Sonia, so you practice. You kind of were saying trademark and copyright law is your focus. focus, but you're open to kind of talking with people about other things that's coming across to them.
Yeah. So I focus in a broader area called intellectual property, and that covers trademark, copyright, and patent. So a lot of people have heard those terms tossed around, and they all kind of go under the umbrella of IP. And with that, I do some business and corporate work, but I really think it's served me well, and it's been important for me to have a special focus. And so I always say that it's just trademarks and copyrights. And certainly my clients have other needs, and being in the Atlanta community for this long has given me a great network. And so I'm able to certainly refer and get co-counsel on things when we need to in different areas. But that would be my area of focus.
Sure. Well, and I love that you say, the focus, because as a young professional, that's really, you've started your own business. You're an entrepreneur. And Atlanta, that's something that we've really just tried to encourage. It's just growing our entrepreneurship, and you really have to be focused, and have a target market. Have you found that that's really helping your business grow?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I have so many mentees, and I do so many talks on how I started my business and why it's only been a year of my own. I've been practicing for several years at other firms, and it's been a year of my own. And
take us back that year. Take us. What was the decision to start your own thing, and then how did you go about that?
Sure. So I've always focused on trademarks and copyrights. It's been my favorite area since I was in law school, and I worked for a few firms in the DC area, and then when I came back to Atlanta, so I started my career here. I went to law school at Emory, and then
so just right
here. Yeah, not a Georgia person necessarily. I grew up in Southern California, so I moved here.
Welcome to the Southeast.
Thank you. Yeah, only to go to Emory. It was a warm welcome, I have to say.
Good.
Then I transitioned to DC to do what we call Masters of Law, for those of us who haven't had enough pain and suffering in just law school. You would just keep going, get a master's. So my Masters of Law is in intellectual property also. I did some coursework in that program. And then I worked for a few years in DC in that market, came back to Atlanta, worked for a couple more years here at different firms. And so I got some really great training, worked with some of the best partners in this field. And then actually it was in January of this year that I decided to open up my own practice. And a big part of that was branding and focus, and talking about, what is my area going to be? Have a singular message, a singular audience, a singular demographic. And that has served me very, very well. It's the biggest piece of advice I give when I do these talks to students and to young entrepreneurs and colleagues. Say, if you're looking to start your business, think about who you're going after and just go after them. Think about what it is that you do, one message, and have it just be really clean, and so if people can't remember what you do, they can't refer you business. Exactly. So it has to be very, very clear.
That's good. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, what's that message you want to leave with our listeners today?
Sure. So I focus on trademark law. So I work with business owners, and I work with companies, and I work with branding. I'm a brand protection attorney. And so if you have a catchy name, a logo, a tagline, anything that has to do with the brand and packaging of your business, I'm the one that's going to protect it. We're going to make sure that no one else has the right to use it, if you start to. And, more importantly, also, if you're in the first years or so of your business and you're just starting out, you want to make sure that you have the right to use the name you chose. That's more of the issue here. So I get a lot of clients chose this great name. They've got a logo, everything. And, they come to me, we do some searches to get what we call the clearance process. We clear everything. And I'm like, nope, there is a salon about 20 miles away who's doing that. You can't do that.
Do you find that a good bit?
It is the worst part of my job to have to deliver that news.
I'm sure.
The worst part of my job. And so we have to go back to the drawing board. And so, I wear a lot of hats. We wear, a marketing hat, a psychology hat. We talk about branding, and it's a lot of fun. I always say I pick the best, most interesting area of law to work in. I don't ever have to go to court, and I work with business owners. We build brands every day. It's really fun.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I think, Sonia, Diana, coming back to you, there's the business brand, but there's also a personal brand. And as Diana, you guys are looking to recruit great people. Can you say that, building a personal brand is important, and you're finding a job process?
It actually is very important. And that's funny that you mentioned that, because our company is really working on branding ourselves, and individually too. And we just had LinkedIn come to our office and give us this big training. Mm-hmm. So if you do go check out our LinkedIn profiles, we should be the best ones out there.
I like that. There you go.
You are the best ones. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. We've never had LinkedIn come here and coach us or whatever. Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
So, Sonia, do y'all focus a little bit on LinkedIn?
We do. Yeah. We talk about LinkedIn. We talked about other platforms of social media, depending on your business. If you're a product-driven company, we're going to talk more about your Instagram following and having that really be a bigger part so that you have daily posts and you start to get a following there. If you're more of a service-driven, we're going to talk more about Twitter, LinkedIn. If you're professional services, certainly LinkedIn, getting your blog going. And I'm a big proponent of a personal brand also. I believe it's really contributed to my growth and my business as well. And I will do a side plug. I actually was awarded Best Personal Brand of 2015.
All right.
Yep.
Congratulations.
The Technology Association of Georgia. So TAG.
Oh my gosh. Way to go.
Yeah. So
not just your mom, but yeah.
Yeah. My mom thinks I'm a great brander too.
But now TAG
tells me so.
now TAG just reinforces that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe when I won because I felt like I went up against some of the best in marketing and sales and tech and business, and I'm sitting here like I'm a lawyer. We're not known for branding necessarily, but I've gotten creative along the way. My moniker online has been Lady Lanham for a long time. And the Lanham Act is the Federal Trademark Act. So Lady Lanham is like, people are like, oh, what does that mean? That's nerdy, but it's catchy. Now we remember it, and so it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I saw that in what you kind of your background. And so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I took the trademark thing. I run with it. I mean, it's what I do. I don't, dabble in anything else. And so I've become sort of a rising expert in the field, so to speak. And to me, I'm really comfortable with that space. I'm comfortable. I'm happy there. And I think that, when you get really good at a certain area, it's good for your branding. It's good for, it's good for your aptitude also as a professional. When you're a lawyer, you're good at what you do if you focus on something and just learn everything about that field.
Well, someone that wants to reach out to you, what's the best way they can find you?
Sure. So web is great. LakhanyLaw.com, LAKHAN as in Nancy, Y. law.com. And also, if you just want to pick up the phone, give us an old-fashioned phone call, 404-668-3795. Consultations are free, so we're happy to answer any questions over the phone.
Good. Well, thanks for that. Now, I'm curious, have you gotten involved since you won the award from Technology Association of Georgia? I mean, that's a great, growing, thriving organization now. I mean, if you go up 400, we're one of the tech hubs of the South. I was at a Metro Atlanta Chamber meeting the other day, and it's just really, it's not even just the Southeast, but the South is what we are growing as in technology. So have you seen a change the last year or 2 years with TAG and with just here in Buckhead, our backyard? We have that right there at the Tech Village.
Right. Tech Village, ATDC, there's so many organizations and different hotspots for tech here. And I've seen a huge spike actually in technology-based companies and apps, and people are doing such cool things, most of which I can't talk about, sort of what Diane was saying.
That's right.
I wish I could. I wish I could talk about all the cool things that my clients are doing. And I always like to say that I have a front seat to some of the newest products and services and apps that are going to come out, within a year or two. I get to see everything. And it's a lot of fun to see a city like Atlanta coming up to the ranks of Atlanta and New York and some of these bigger cities in our own way. And
absolutely,
I travel a lot between LA, DC, New York, and Atlanta for my clients. And so it's really fun to kind of see the comparison between how businesses are running.
Absolutely. The Southern charm with the hustle, though. The hustle and hospitality is the coin phrase for that.
It is nice. Here, every meeting or every interaction starts, like, how are you? And they're genuinely like, so what are you doing for Christmas? What's going on? And there it's like, okay, well, good morning, have a seat, we're going to get started. And, it's just very, business-like, so it just depends on the culture of the city.
Sure. No, that's great. What do you enjoy most about what you do?
So I think for me, what I really enjoy the most is that, I get to help in a way that's really creative for me. So, a lot of people think of help, in the charity or philanthropic space. But for me, when someone comes to me and they're starting a business, this is the dream they have. They've thought of some product, some cool idea, and they want to pursue it. And they don't even know where to start. They're like, I think I have this name. I don't know if it's a good name or not. Like, I Googled it and I didn't see anything.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah. And I get to help in that limited way, to kind of push their dream along. And for me, the most rewarding thing has been, a couple years later or months later for someone to come and say, you got me started on my trademarks and my branding. And then I went and hired a couple employees and this and then now I quit my day job and now this is my full thing. I mean, I guess nothing makes me happier to hear that, that someone's been able to make their side or passion, their full-time position and have that be their livelihood. It's really rewarding.
That's awesome. That must be. You just see it in their eyes.
Yes.
You see it in their eyes, and then that impacts the family and everything else from there, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great kind of segue into what Young Bucks is all about, really. Diana, you and our focus really this year has been the social philanthropy and leadership piece. And so Sonia, you're diving into kind of what our
I'm
passion
the segue.
is.
My job is segues today.
Hey, there we go.
That's what
Seriously.
I'm in charge of.
But really, that's where, my passion.
Sonia segue.
Yeah, that's right. Sonia,
All these singers.
Segues by Sonia.
we just need to get you one of those segues. But this year, all the kids, what are they getting? Those little boards?
Have you tried
boards?
getting on one of those?
No.
I'm like, I don't know if it's just me or lack of coordination, but I cannot do them.
I don't even know. I need to get my steps in on my Fitbit. I got to get to 10,000 to ride a little board around the office wouldn't do me justice.
Yeah.
So.
The board would kind of cancel it out.
It really would.
495 steps instead of the 10,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be terrible. So
I tried one on an escalator. Didn't work out very well. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no.
Oh god.
Well, I think Delta banned them. So
There's been a lot of backlash or issues with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of questions about patent, but you were going to jump. Let's pick up where we left off.
Right.
We got segue with the.
So that's really been my passion is, just being well-rounded. And it's funny, when we were on the show about a year plus ago, we had Garth from the Coalition and myself and Greg in here and Bill Bowling actually with the Community Food Bank, which is actually funny tie-in because that was the first time I got to meet Bill, and it's been a great year for him as he's kind of I believe retired since our last talk. But Diana, we actually tell us a little bit about what we did with our philanthropy this year.
So earlier this year, we did plan a community garden event where we had about, what did you say, 25, 30 people that ended up coming out to help plant a community garden on the campus of Georgia Perimeter. And it was a great event. Ironically, I could not participate. I was injured, but I was there making sure everybody was picking up their shovels.
That's right.
You didn't get injured at the event, though, right? Yeah.
No, the week before.
That's right.
Gardening can be hazardous for some people.
It's safe. Yeah, they can be hazardous. But yeah, so we got to help the Atlanta Community Food Bank actually through the food garden. And Diana, you did a great job setting that up. And,
thank you.
Kind of have worked on being a well-balanced organization this year has really been our focus. So with Young Bucks, what we've really done this year is we've had a monthly social. So every month, we look on the calendar, and one thing that we really started trying to do is part 2 of the years we were launching is create consistency. So going into 2016, be on the lookout. We'll be consistently having a social, a certain day of the week every month.
Okay.
So you'll just be able to know this is the day of the week that socials are going to happen. And much like the BBA socials, we keep them local. They're here in Buckhead. So if you're working here in Buckhead, you can just walk or short drive later. Minus the traffic for Christmas here, but
just jump on the train or and get off on the next step, or they can have the Buck shuttle that runs around here.
That's right.
But as we're asking our guests to best point of contact, let's give out your contact for the Young Bucks, but also for your your business venture.
Well, for Young Bucks, the best way to find us is go to buckhead-business-org. So you'll be able to click around the website, but there's a contact us link there, and you can follow up with us there. Smitha's our executive director, and she's really good about communicating. And then also I can get back to you as well.
Sure. And the fees are relatively affordable, right?
For what you get. So as a Young Bucks, you actually get a membership for the Buckhead-Business-Association as well.
Right.
So you get everything with Young Bucks and BBA has to offer. And so, kind of what I had touched on is we have those monthly socials. We try to do a couple philanthropy events a year is our goal. And then also a couple leadership events this year. So for instance, this year we had the CEO of Waffle House, Walt Emmer, speak. And with our partnership with Georgia State, we hosted it. They actually have their MBA programs here in Buckhead, in Tower Place 200. So really a great sponsorship there and partnership really. As you're looking to get involved, but that Young Bucks membership also gets you to all the BBA stuff. So another social month. And one thing I really have enjoyed is the leadership breakfast. Much like Sonia, we got you involved earlier this year. I don't know how we suckered you into it, but thank you for that.
Sure. That was fun.
We always have a good turnout and have a good time at those, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
If you can make it up early, 7:30 to 9, it's a really good time to jumpstart your day.
Yeah, what I always say too is that a lot of these organizations like BBA and Young Bucks, you really start to see who's serious about building their career and networking. If you can make it out regularly at that hour or two, and, get parked and situated by then, and it kind of shows you're serious and you're consistent about your career and consistent about being in the community. And so I think when you're looking to network and meet prospects, colleagues, and people to do business with, it separates those people from others. So it's a good way to vet the process, I would suppose.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
So that's a little taste of the membership has to offer.
Absolutely. And what are the age groups typically, and how many folks are involved?
Sure.
Currently,
we have about 75 Young Buck members. So our events are around that mark. We meet at all the local hot spots here in Buckhead. So really have gone to some great venues this year. Really proud and pleased of what we've done and of our team. The committee's done a great job.
And are you looking for committee members or people to get involved besides just at the membership level for the Young Bucks?
And that's what I love about BPI. I mentioned it earlier. It's an easy way to get involved. It's just commitment wise, you're not going to be killing yourself, because absolutely, as a young professional, we can all attest, you've really got to work hard at the grind of your profession, because it's getting ahead now is to make it successful in the future. But part of that is your civic responsibility and being involved in the community. And with Young Bucks, I think it's a good balance. It's not going to get you overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And speaking of professions, share with the audience as we close out the show your profession, and tell us a little bit about what you do on a regular basis at your position, and how folks would get in touch with you.
Sure. Well, I work with Avis & Young in commercial real estate, so I get to help businesses with their office space, whether they're growing or contracting, or their lease is up for renewal, or they're looking to move. I'm able to help businesses save some money and work around those different pieces as they're looking for offices around Atlanta or around the country, for that matter. We can help you out with that. So it's been a really exciting year for the industry. It's Buckhead alone it's picked up from last year to this year.
Exactly.
Your vacancy's a lot lower, and you can tell that, even though there's traffic, that's a good thing, because business is going well. So you can help folks not only here in Buckhead, Atlanta, but other parts of the country as well. Exactly. Yeah, we're based in Canada. Avis & Young is, and so we're an international company. We're the fastest growing commercial real estate company in the world. Actually, it's
that's crazy
tidbit. So,
and you made that happen yourself?
Hey, right, something like that.
Solo venture there.
Oh, right, sure. But yeah, if you would like to get in touch with me, you could go to avisandyoung.com, and then my email address is chris.godfrey, Godfrey, at avisandyoung.com. And we'd love to talk with you about any of your real estate needs, as well as Young Bucks. If you're looking to have some more information about Young Bucks, I'd be happy to talk with you.
Absolutely. So I think that rounds out the inaugural show for the Young Bucks Buckhead Business Show.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank our guests for being here. Maybe one more time, if you all want to just share your point of contact information and introduce yourself one more time.
Sure. This is Sonia Lakhany, trademark lawyer, lakhanylaw.com, 404-668-3795.
And I'm Diana Kraeger with KF Resources, 678-809-5343, or you can email me at dkraeger, Kraeger, at kf-resources.com.
And I'm Chris Godfrey. It's been a pleasure getting to talk with you all today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you. It was
Absolutely.
a pleasure.
So, and we look forward to hearing from our listeners if they want to get involved with Young Bucks as well.
Thank you for joining us and our guests on the Pro Business Channel. Use the social media links here to share today's show, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Buckhead Business Show. Brought to you by the Buckhead-Business-Association.